is where folks can access the trail. I think our southernmost point is down by Pecan Valley Golf Course down by Lake Benbrook. Folks can access, and we have a trailhead down there in Memorial Oak Park by the golf course that'll take you all the way from southwest Fort Worth all the way up to the Central Business District. At the same time, we also have another trail system which runs northwest along the West Fork of the Trinity River all the way up to Camp Carter, adjacent to the Naval Air Station. That area in particular, that's all been developed and maintained by the Tarrant Regional Water District. So we've all partnered up to create a pretty extensive trail system. From that point, when those two portions of the river converge, they flow eastward, and right now our trail system extends all the way down to Quanah Parker Park, which is approximately about 1 mile west of East Loop 820. And so we've also have several tributary trail systems as well. We have the Sycamore Creek trail corridor that accesses southeast Fort Worth. We have about 3.5 miles of trail there.
And when you say trail, what exactly do you mean?
Well, what it is that we have hard surface paths that are minimum 8-foot width. And folks can access those trails at each trailhead, which we have over, I believe, about 17 of them throughout the city. We have parking available where folks can get to those points, access the trail, and basically go anywhere they want to along the river system.
That sounds awesome. It sounds like you have a really well-established network for the citizens of Fort Worth to enjoy the river, and it sounds like a really good area for them to ride. Just one more thing, is there anything that the community can do to make it even better?
Well, currently right now we have a federal grant program, and what this grant does is it allows us to develop a priority matrix of how we can get neighborhood connections into the river system itself. We've been going through a study on this for about the last year, and based on certain criteria, we're creating a priority as to where we need to connect neighborhoods. Right now we're working in two distinct neighborhood areas. One would be the river trails, not the river trails, but the trail drivers connection, which is in North Central Fort Worth, okay, to create a neighborhood trail connection to the river from that point. We're also looking at another neighborhood trail connection along that's adjacent to South 820 along Kellis, Foster, Overton Park to connect into the river as well. What we're trying to do is find neighborhood connections to where we can sort of branch spider out to where more folks can have access to the trail system.
Excellent. Well, that sounds fabulous, and I'd love to share that with more people and to let them know where they can get maps. And what I'll do is I'll put that information on our website on areyoukeepingup.com, so I'll be following up with you and so that our viewers can find out how they can get copies of this fabulous map system. And I really thank you, Mike, for being on the show today. My daughter and I love to ride on the Trinity Trail, and just recently we decided that we needed to try to here, take a look at these photos. As you're looking at the photos, I wanted to tell you about this fabulous ride I did. Organization called West Aid has a food bank, and so they had a ride called Trinity Trek, and my daughter and I rode through the trails. We rode about 20 miles, and it was just a beautiful place. I was really surprised. You feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, and it was a great time with my daughter. It was really a blast. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Fit Future is an aggressive community-wide effort to stop the obesity epidemic. The United Way brought together organizations to share in this responsibility for creating healthier communities. Fit Future wants to unite you, the places where you work and worship, where your children go to school, and with your neighbors in an effort to improve our daily health.
I am Fit Future.
I am Fit Future.
Just like Fit Future.
I am Fit Future.
I am Fit Future.
I am Fit Future.
I am Fit Future.
Be a part of Fit Future.
We're back with the most beautiful woman from Bicycles Incorporated, Beth Bach. Beth, I have a very busy schedule like most of our viewers, and I don't live on a bike trail, but I do have lots and lots of exercise videotapes, but I really want to do something sports specific so that I can get ready for this long ride for the MS-150. Can you give me some suggestions on something that I can do, something that can help me train at home?
Absolutely. One of the most popular and inexpensive and efficient ways to ride your bicycle at home is with an indoor trainer. They range from $169 to about $400, and they're very easy to assemble and very easy to use. All you have to do is put the rear axle of the bike in the stand. This roller unhooks and rotates up to put pressure on the rear wheel, and you're ready to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, it looks like a motor or something. Is that just the way it looks? Is this automated, or is it just my
No, everything
effort,
is
or-
manual. They
Okay.
have wind trainers, which only use the wind for your resistance. They have a mag trainer that has a magnetic device on the inside where you can adjust the tension of the roller. And this one is the fluid trainer. The fluid is inside this drum, and as you pedal, the fluid displaces, which gives you resistance while you're pedaling.
Oh, okay. Oh, very interesting. So it's the internal fluid that gives kind of like a hydraulic thing, I guess.
Exactly, that will give
Okay.
you resistance while you're
Very
riding.
nice, very nice. Okay, and so then the stand keeps it stable. And then what is this, as we're moving up the bike, what is this block here?
That's a front climbing block for the bicycle. If you don't have a block underneath your front wheel, then you get the impression that you're riding downhill. So this allows you to elevate the front wheel, and it also makes the front end of the bicycle more stable for the rider.
Okay, well, can we give it a try?
Sure, I think that'd be great.
All right, fun. Let's see. Okay, whoops.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Set, go.
Let's see. Oh, whoa, I got this a little too easy for us. Let's try to. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. And of course, I can do this all by myself later, and I'll really get a workout. I think you're doing more work than I am back there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's take a break here for a second and talk about this tandem. Actually, I really like the idea of having this connection here. Get up there, this here. Last time on the last show, you brought in the trailer bike,
Right.
And that I loved the idea of the trailer bike because it was easy, adding a third wheel, and it was very economical to just purchase something. And I know that tandems tend to be a little bit more expensive, but I did get the opportunity to ride the tandem at your shop, and I really like the tandem. I mean, it was so much more easy. It was fun. Can you tell me a little bit about why it's so easy and so much fun to ride a tandem, and the difference for that trailer bike that seemed very awkward and
Right. I think
unstable?
that was one of your main concerns when you tried the trailer bike with your daughter, that she seemed a little bit unstable in the back. And for shorter distances and recreational rides, I think the trailer bike is great. But for longer distances, like what you're trying to do with the MS-150, the tandem allows the security for your rider in the back to feel more stable, and they're better able to help participate.
Right, so that is true. Now I know the trailer bike also pedaled, but here when we were pedaling together, it just seemed effortless.
Right, right. The rider, unfortunately here on a tandem, with trailer bike your daughter could just sit there and you would have to pull her. On a tandem, the rider in the back, which is called the stoker, has to pedal at all times.
Okay, and so then what's the person at the front called?
The captain.
The captain, okay. And what kind of bike is this now? What brand is this?
This is made by Trek, and this is a cruiser tandem. It's designed for recreational fitness riding. There's only gears in the back, so more for neighborhood riding, bike path riding, like what you were talking about for training. They also come in a variety of colors and styles. You can get a mountain bike that you could ride off-road, and you could get a road bike that would be better for longer distances.
Okay, and I like the nice seat. That definitely is a comfortable. I can picture
Comfortable.
us on the beach, riding down the beach, or well, I guess in this case, riding down the river trails. The Trinity Trails would be a perfect place for this because it's nice and smooth. And this cruised. It's very nice with the larger wheels, made it very smooth ride.
Right.
So very relaxing and easy to ride. And it looks like it's got everything, even another
A bell to let people know that you're coming.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Beth, for
You're very
bringing the
welcome.
tandem on today, and we'll
Thanks
have
for
to see
having
what
me
you got
back.
for us next time.
Okay, and remember, always wear your helmet.
We'll be right back.
Places that build happy, healthy kids shouldn't be deserted. To help your kids develop both their body and mind, get them out to play more.
Welcome back. I'm here with Elaine Williams of the Texas Bicycle Coalition. And Elaine's going to show us some important things about some safety on riding on the roads. And I have a question in particular. Years ago, when I first started riding, people would say ride against the traffic so that you could see the bikes coming at you.
Yes.
But now I understand that's against the law.
That is against the law. We were told years ago when we were riding, when we were young, to ride facing traffic so that you could see and avoid someone coming towards you. But they have found that it's more dangerous for you to be facing the traffic as opposed to flowing with the traffic. You're less likely to be hurt or hit by a vehicle if you are flowing with traffic. So the law states that you need to be riding as close as you can to the curb without being in the dirt and the debris that's that collects in the gutter there. But you need to be riding in the same direction as traffic near the curb.
Okay.
That's the
now,
law.
do you know? One of the things that makes me think about that is we had talked last time about having to be able to stop at the stop signs and being able to follow all the signals and all the laws. I guess that would make sense that.
Most definitely, because when you're riding in the street, you want to signal with your left hand. You want to do your show your direction of movement with your left hand because the cars are coming from your left side. So if you're going to make a right turn, you want to put up your arm to signal that you're turning right.
Okay, let's practice that. Okay, everybody out there, you can stand up and practice your signals with us, okay? Elaine, so we're going to practice. If you're riding
right
your
turn.
bike, you got your hand.
One hand on the handlebar. The Texas law says that you have to have one hand on the handlebar at all times. So you would have your right hand on the handlebar. You would put up your left hand to signal that you're turning right.
Okay.
Okay? A left turn would just be pointing to your left.
Okay.
And then when you want to stop, you just bring your arm down. You'll see this signal for stop, and you'll also see this signal for stop.
I'm kind of pointing down
Just
a little
point,
bit.
yes.
Okay.
A little bit adamantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So run through those for us again real quick.
Okay.
All right, everybody,
so
here we go.
it's one hand on the handlebar at all times. You're going to make a left turn.
Left turn?
I'm sorry.
Left turn? Okay,
left turn. Left turn, right turn, and stop.
Okay. All right,
Left turn, right turn, and stop.
Okay, good. All right,
pretty simple.
and then the law also says that you need to be close to the street. And didn't you have a little move to help us remember that?
I do. Students that I teach in the elementary schools, they came up with a move that is to signify riding near the curb and going in the same direction as traffic. You're going to ride near the curb in the same direction as traffic.
Okay, let's try that one too. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to ride near the curb in the same direction as the traffic. Excellent. I appreciate that. That's fun.
No
well,
problem.
Anything to help us remember, is always a good thing.
Especially for kids.
All right. Well, we'll have to have you come on again next time and talk about some more of the laws that we need to know to be safe. Thank you very much, Eileen, for being on the show and helping us understand how important it is to be a predictable rider. So remember, when cycling, go with the flow and signal your intentions. The one thing no cyclist does on purpose is get a flat tire. Pete Cox with Bikes for Tykes teaches students how to change a flat. Very essential skill they need to know, and we're going to show you how to do it right now.
We're going to be demonstrating how to change a flat tire. And the only tools you'll need will be 2 tire levers and a patch kit. Take one of the tire levers, put it underneath the rim of the tire, and flip it over, and you notice the tire lever has a hook. That's so you can hook it onto the spoke. Take the other one, go down about 6 inches, and pull it over and lock it. And you do that until you get the tire off to a point where you can slide it off. And generally, I can do that in about 1. Then I take the tire all the way off. That way I can take the tube out, pump it up, and find out where the leak is. Once I've found the leak, take my patch kit. There's a piece of sandpaper in there. Just rough up the area around where the leak is so the glue will stick better. And take the glue that's in there, and you'll have to puncture the top and put a spot of glue on there larger than the tube you're going or the patch you're going to put on there. And you want to blow on this glue until it's no longer shiny. And you can take your patch, put it on over the hole, and just put a little pressure on it. And it just takes a few minutes, and that patch will hold. You can see that's sticky now. Then I let a little bit of air out of the tube. And before I put it back in the tire, what I want to do is check and find out if there's something still in there that caused that leak initially. I take a piece of Kleenex or some soft piece of paper and just run it around inside. And if there's a nail or a piece of glass in there, it'll snag this paper. Now normally I do it with my fingers, but it snags my fingers and I bleed. So I would suggest you use a piece of paper and go all the way around the inside of the tire and see if anything gets snagged on it. Nothing did, so whatever punctured the tire, pull back out. And I take my tube, put it back inside the tire, and put it back on the wheel. Take the valve stem and put it down through the hole in the rim. And it'll go. Then every tire has how many pounds of pressure it's supposed to have written on the side. In this case, it's between 45 and 60, so I'm going to put 50 pounds of pressure back in here. And that's all I do. And if your pump doesn't have a gauge on it like mine, then what you'll need is a tire gauge like this, and check the pressure, and 50 pounds. Or the simple way to do it is just push down on it, and if you can push it down, it needs a little more air.
Now that we know how to fix a flat and we've begun riding to get rid of that spare tire, we need to keep our body in tune. My next guest is an optimal performance coach who specializes in cycling, stretch, and massage. Renee Anzaldua has what it takes to keep us where we want to go and takes care of us when we get back. Welcome, Renee.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Renee, I've been a certified personal trainer for years. I've written health columns, and one of the things that I see is most neglected is stretch. And with something so important, why do you think it's so neglected?
I think we're just now hitting the level of time where they're realizing the modality much more.
Okay. Well, can you start off with some things that would be easy for anyone to do and tell us a little bit about this equipment, and then we'll get to some stuff that would be specific to cycling?
Basically, the certification for NASM, which is National Academy of Sports Medicine, they introduced this as part of the introductory portion of the certification to be a trainer, and this is to help in mobility for your hips and back and shoulders. And you look at it and it doesn't seem like it's much of anything except a foam roller, and that's what we call them, foam rollers, you know, or get on the roller. And this is part of what we do. If you get and put yourself right there at the seat bones, it's your tuberosity, but the seat bones will do well. You can feel those muscles, and by going off to the side, left and right, you can go ahead and continue to breathe. People have a tendency of not breathing.
I have to remember that quite a bit.
And so by doing that, it seems like you're just wasting a lot of time, but in actuality, I always refer to pie crust, dough, and having lumps in it when you first start to knead it. It's like a rolling pin, so you're actually rolling the myofascia, which is a thin membrane throughout our body, and by doing that, it releases the tension in our pelvis.
I can definitely feel the massage, you know, doing some of the writing and of course also sitting a lot. My hips seem to get tight and, you know, just don't have the flexibility that I used to have, and I can really feel this is a real firm roller. It doesn't hurt per se, but it really feels like a deep massage as you're rolling across here, and this is nice.
It does feel real good. In fact, if you were to probably do one side and all the way from the hamstrings all the way down to the calves, you can see.
How would I do that?
And, well, what you do is after you have done both sides, you might just slip on down to the hamstrings. And that's another thing the roller does. It helps you with your coordination and balance. You know, and that's just a byproduct of one of those things. But after a while, by staying on the roller, you can get real creative. Like if I needed to put more pressure, I can just cross my ankles or go left to right.
And your balance, you mentioned balance. Fall prevention is one of the certifications I have, because as we get older and things tighten up, you know, our stride becomes shorter and different things happen to us. And falling is a you know, we need to stay balanced. Training is important.
It really is, especially when we get older. There's other periodicals that you can read, and one of the things they specify is that out of all the things that you do, whether it be strength or cardio, your ability to stay mobile is the most important.
Definitely. Well, being mobile is definitely a big part of our show. We want people to be able to keep up with their grandkids, and you know, that's why the show is called Keeping Up. We want to make sure that people stay mobile, and you know, not necessarily on just on a bike, but just daily.
You go ahead and push your roller right to your calves, and you'll find out that by moving them to the calf really release a lot of tension, because your muscles in that calf area, especially for cyclists, get well developed, and your feet also take a beating. I do something else with the feet, but this really helps. A lot of times we are creatures of habit and also of our environment, so our hip flexors when we're riding get shortened, like you say, and then at the same time sitting all day long, they need to get loosened. And the best way to do that is to go ahead and move the roller, and you get on it like so. And for the women, it's much easier. For the men, you have to be a little more difficult.
What are we doing here?
This is the hip flexor here.
Okay.
This is the intersection of both the gluteals that come
so
over
kind of
here and where we're bent.
On that side
so we have a lot of tendon tissue there. Yeah, and as you can see, it's real hard and can be very uncomfortable. You start easy. And just kind of grow into it. But one of the things in training my athletes, they can't have a massage on hand, you know, pull it out of a bag and then have somebody working on them. So one of the things I recommend is for the riders to go ahead and take a roller.
Yeah, and
I think I told you this.
I would definitely like to do more of this later, but we're running out of time. So before we go, just kind of give us a little wrap up here. You know, let us know whatever you want to say in closing about these kind of things.
Basically, the foam rollers are on in magazines, massage therapy magazines. Power Systems is one of those magazines that shows you different kinds of bands and equipment that you can use. The foam roller runs about $18. You can get them in foot lengths.
Okay, well, and how can people find out more about this through you if they wanted to contact you to get some training and find out how to use this equipment?
I'm located in Fort Worth here off of Bryan Irving. It's 4608 at City View Plaza, and it's Fit for Life.
Okay, well,
there
no,
in City View.
I'll make sure that I have your contact information on the website. So all the wonderful guests that we had today, we're going to have even more next time. So make sure that you keep up with us by going to our website, and you'll see more next time. You'll get an actual glimpse of what it's like to ride in the MS-150, and we'll see some of the essentials that we'll need for the journey. Remember, people from every walk of life are coming together to make our world a healthier place so we can all have a fit future. See you next time.